Oh, we're live.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're good, man. We're on.
What's up, Miles?
What's up, bro? You doing okay?
Yeah,
Mm.
things are good.
Mm.
Kids are just about to head out to school. Busy week as usual. Had a nice
Yeah.
weekend with a couple of my buddies. Went up to a chalet in
Oh, yeah.
Montreal. Oh, yeah, it was awesome. Just hung out and chilled. We also got snowed in yesterday. We had the
Oh.
worst snow day, I think, in like 50 years or something, or
Oh,
100
wow.
years. It was crazy. Yeah, my car was buried, like
Oh, yeah.
literally
I saw a
buried.
picture of it the other week, man.
Oh, it was like way worse. Like
Oh, really?
literally couldn't even see the car at all. Just all buried in snow.
Mm.
But it was kind of nice. I don't know. I mean, it's beautiful and all that. So yeah, used to it. But I twisted
Oh.
my neck a little bit shoveling yesterday.
Oh.
But good, man. Good. Overall, great. Yeah. I know we've got an exciting episode. We got some crazy things we want to talk about. You want to kick us off
Yeah.
with what we were just talking about?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a humble brag, but I didn't even mean it to be like a humble brag or anything. I was just saying to Sunny that I've got this songwriting camp that me and my wife host. The songwriting camp's called Mana Collective, and it's just like we just use some of the income from this song that I wrote to gather like loads of young gospel songwriters, and we go away to this like really nice house. It's like this manor house in the countryside on this like 10,000 acre estate, and it's just a beautiful place. And then we break out into these little groups and write new songs basically, and that's kind of what we do. And we've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now. Done about 12 camps over the last 4 or 5 years, and then yeah, sometimes we make a record, and like it's done okay. Like some of the songs that we've written have done like 1 million streams and just over 1 mil. But where it all started was that when I probably no before I met you, I was a musician, like not a very good one actually at all, and I was aware of that, which is why I was in India, like trying to figure out what I would do next and what I've done for the rest of my life, trying to figure out what to do. But I was okay. I'm an okay songwriter, but I'm not a very good musician. And I wrote a song called Spirit Breakout that I was just telling Sunny. I think it's done like combined like 180 million streams worldwide, just on Spotify, really. I've never been able to add up YouTube and like Amazon Music. It's really hard to add all of the platforms together. But yeah, it generates like a reasonable passive income for us, and we use that money to like part of it to put these songwriting camps on. Um, but nobody knows I wrote this song. It's like the song that me and my friend Luke wrote. It's a co-write. Me and my friend Luke wrote it together. The song that we wrote did okay and became like quite well known in the UK, but then it went really global when a couple of American songwriters covered it, and then it really popped off.
And to this day, you make royalties because of it.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
so
I mean, it's like
cool.
18, 19 years ago I wrote it or something now.
What? And you still
Yeah.
get paid from it?
Bro, but also it's not even a like big song in terms of Christian music. It's like a lower tier song. It's done okay, but it's quite a good song because it's gonna keep getting used for a long time. It's kind of like a sort of all weather song that's gonna keep. It's not like a very popular one for right now. Like it didn't do this huge spike. It's just been like a slow combined burn for a long time, compounding
That's
basically. And
awesome. But there's something
mm,
special about music, and then obviously the Christian element, like just
mm,
makes it evergreen and eternal,
that's
and
the
and
phrase,
then
evergreen.
the
Yeah,
repetitive nature, like you want to listen to music on repeat. So there's just
yeah,
so many things, and
yeah,
200 million, dude,
yeah.
that's like
It's a lot,
2/3 the
but no,
population of the US or something. Like that's insane.
but no one knows it's me really. Like when what normally happens is, um, someone finds out that I've written it, like someone we know. So we were in Vietnam and we were visiting a church that someone put us in touch with, and there are these two girls, one Australian, one British girl that we like connected with there. We're like, hanging out with them, went for lunch, and then they're asking like, "What do you do? Like, what have you done?" And I was like, "Yeah, I used to work at. I mean, I didn't work at church, but I was like involved in church when I was in my 20s." And they're like, "Oh yeah, what do you do?" I was like, "I used to write songs." And they're like, "Oh yeah, do you write any that we know?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." And they're like, "What? What's it called?" And then it's like, "Oh, it's called Spirit Breakout." And they're like, "What? You write that song?" I'm like, yeah. And then they like sing it to me, and it's like, "Yeah, yeah, that's me. That's me." it's kind of wild.
And what did that process look like? Like of the writing process, you just sat down
Oh,
one day and whipped it out, or was it like over a long
probably
period of
sat down
time?
2 days. And like, to do credit to my friend Luke, he is an outstanding songwriter, and he's written a couple of other good songs since then. But probably not any that will eclipse this one, I don't think. But basically, we were students, we were like post students, that sort of period, last year at university. We would just write songs for fun, and then we wrote this. We had this idea, and then we tried it in a student church gathering, and we just did the chorus, and it like kicked off. Everybody loved it. So then we wrote the verses, and it just kind of progressed from there, really. And then, our friend, he was like a really popular worship leader at the time. He then said it's a good song, so he started playing it when he would travel, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. It's like very organic, actually. The journey of it. It wasn't like we pushed it hard to anybody to like promote it. It just kind of grew organically. But it's interesting that. Go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I was going to say, like, what's actually the coolest thing is just seeing how it's impacting people, and people sort of occasionally get in touch and say, wow, this song really impacted me. And then when we were in Malaysia, we met a girl who's a worship writer in Malaysia. She's Chinese. And she said, oh, your song is really popular in the underground church in China, where it's like not, it's not possible to be a Christian. So they have these like illegal church meetings. I'm like, how's that then? She said, I'll send it to you. So she sent me a Mandarin version of my song, like in Mandarin.
Bro, man, I'm sure like so cool. Yeah, I'm sure she's heard of it. I'm sure I probably heard about it. We have Christian music playing all the time.
It's like quite a big version in Spanish as well. I think they play in South America a lot.
Does like Hillsong and those guys re-sing it? I don't even. Cool, man.
No,
that is
that's my probably. What's sad is it's probably the most successful thing I've ever done, and it's hard to eclipse it.
Well, I was gonna say, have you tried recreating that vibe?
Yeah,
like, if you,
yeah, definitely. Like, not from the angle of thinking let's write a song that makes loads of money, but once you've written a good one, then people are expecting you to do another one, and it's kind of not that easy. It's not like you can. And I've definitely written some other good songs, but there's no way. It's so difficult. What is it? I think there's like 6,000 songs uploaded to Spotify every day now. So the chances now of this is pre-Spotify, it's kind of CDs when people were still buying it back then. So it's very, very hard now to sort of make it pop off in the same way.
But that's such a cool story. I mean, dude, even if that's the only one you ever have, I mean, how many people ever forget 200 million, like even 2 million, like that's unheard of, right? So
yeah,
good on you.
Oh, thanks. I'm blessed by you being so like into it as well.
That's amazing. That's super cool. I mean, everyone wants to be famous, but to be famous for writing a song and a Christian song like that is crazy. And that's awesome. But yeah, let's keep moving. So what else is top of mind? I mean, there's some stuff that I wanted to talk a little bit about as well.
I'm cool if you want to jump into the Anthropic stuff with MCP, the protocol, and then because that's your background, that's your area, you really understand it. All I really know about it is that it's a protocol that Anthropic developed, and then they gave it away to the Linux Foundation. So I don't even know what the Linux Foundation is really, but my only equation I can add it to is it a bit like HTTP, like that protocol, which was given away, and then that's not the way the profit is going to be made. That's kind of the plumbing of the internet. And is MCP like the plumbing of AI? Is that a way to relate it, or can you explain it better?
So I was good. Short answer, I don't fully get MCP, except that it's just this like connector of sorts where you can now connect AI to other applications. But I don't. So the direction I was gonna go with this is actually not. So first of all, the internet is popping off right now. I don't know if you're on Twitter all that much, but on Twitter, like every feed is about this thing. It's called Claude Bot, but it's not Claude as in Anthropic Claude, like CLAUDE. It's
Uh-huh.
Claude, as in CLAW, like claws, like lobster claws,
Oh,
Claude
yeah.
bot. And then the icon for it is like a lobster. It's like a cute little lobster. And it's not Claude. It is an open source software that some guy named Steven Peter or something like that, guy who had retired, he was kind of out of the game and then got inspired and built this thing kind of as like a solo, dude probably sitting in his basement or apartment or whatever. And people are losing their minds over it. And I still haven't figured out how to explain it in a way that would match my enthusiasm for it. So like when I explain it, it just seems to fall flat a little bit. So I got to figure out a better way to explain it. Um, ugh, let's just put it this way:
So
it might be the
yeah.
closest thing to AGI that
Oh,
we've
really?
ever experienced. Number one, like it's got this like AGI vibe. Most people that are tinkering with it are like, oh my God, I thought this was like 5-10 years away still. It's here.
Fair.
So what is it? What is it? Okay, it's open source software. By the way, maybe like the risk caveat. Don't, I wouldn't try this at home. Some of this stuff is like a bit dangerous and you got to be a little bit techie to kind of tinker with it, and it could mess you up. So don't get too excited about it. But just like the thought of it is insane. So what is it? It's so this open source software. You download it on your computer, and it essentially connects to everything. Everything. So it connects to, like, for example, all the different language models, right? It connects to your messaging apps like Telegram and WhatsApp and things like the iMessage. And the way you communicate with it. So imagine again, the software sitting on your home computer. Your computer remains on ideally all the time.
Yeah.
The way you communicate with that piece of software is via, let's say, Telegram. That's the way I've set it up. And you can send a message to it, essentially. Anything, okay? And anything, or almost anything that a human can do, Miles, this thing can do. Okay, so I'll give you some examples. So I just ran a test yesterday. Again, so I'm writing a Telegram message. I said, send an email from my personal email to my cousin's email. I just said that. Bada, 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 bada. It comes back, goes sent. Sent. Okay, so it like accessed my email on my desktop, opened it up, crafted an email, put a message in, sent it to my cousin, and I did that via a Telegram message. People are using it in a way where before they go to bed, they'll just tell it, be like, and you feed it a ton of context, right? Oh my God, I'm doing such a bad job of explaining this, but
I know. I
it's
think I'm
all
getting it. It's like
yeah,
next
it's got
level
okay, it's
agency.
got like messaging kind of connectivity. It's got all these LLMs tied into it. It's on your computer, and it can essentially do anything that you can on your computer. It can browse the web. It can, like I said, send emails. It's got access to your calendar. You can give it access. Like in my case, I've got it. I gave it access to my to-do list. So, for example, I just said to Telegram, I said, "Hey, hey Claude, give me a list of all the things I got to do today and order it in terms of like priority, like in terms of how you think I should do it." And it comes back and it's like, boom, here, you do these two things first, work on these contracts while your mind is fresh, then move into this. And then, maybe later on in the day, focus on this stuff for your daughter. And it just laid it out in this like beautiful way. I could just say to it, hey, anything interesting in my inbox today? Like instead of going to my inbox or my 5 different inboxes and looking through everything, I can literally just see in Telegram, hey, can you surface the top 3 emails like over the last 24 hours? Boom, here's the last 3 emails. I could say, hey, I have this idea for this project that I want to build. It's a what's an example of something that I'm trying to build? Oh, okay. I want to have, you know what a Kanban board is? It's kind of like a project managing like kind of interface
Okay.
where you have these like columns, and the first column is like backlog, then it's in progress, then it's kind of like all the way to completion. And so as tasks get kind of move towards progression, like you can just like slide them over. And so I was like, okay, create a Kanban board that allows me to talk with you so I can give you assignments throughout the week. and it comes back. It's like, oh, Kanban board made. And now it could be like, okay, this week I want to build this, I want to build that. And you could even be general about it. You could be like, because it has a ton of context around who I am. Oh, it's also solved. So I said messaging, it's got this LM thing. It's open source. It sits on your computer, so you control it. It's also got memory. You know how like AI struggles with memory? Like you're telling it something, it knows something about you, and then all of a sudden it just goes bonkers and it's like totally off base. Well, that's because you're using it in the web browser, and every time you redo an instance, it kind of like has a hard time remembering the past. But here, what you can do is you can have a folder on your freaking computer and just drop files in there, and it'll understand everything in that folder, right? So it's got like memory context. It's got this like ability to interface with it. It's always on because it's on your computer, and it can literally do anything on your computer. You could be like, write 100 songs, and here's my hit song, the one that popped off, but I want 100 songs in this flavor, and then I want you to go through all the 100 songs and tell me what are the top 3 tomorrow morning as to which one you think will pop off and why. And now it has like this, it's done all this crazy shit, and this comes to you and it's like, Miles, mission accomplished. Like these are the lyrics for your next song. I mean, I don't know. You can do anything with it. It's wild. It's wild, dude. It's and some people are using it in a proactive way where, because it has context, like the first thing you do is you just dump it. You say, I am Sunny Ray. This is what I'm doing. These are my goals in life. These are the, so it has all this context. Some people are using it where it just proactively figures shit out, and it comes to you in the morning and goes, hey, Miles, I've been thinking, I've been, I spent the last 4 hours putting together this report. You said these are your goals. You said you're here. I think you might want to consider doing 1, 2, 3 because these developments took place over the last 10 hours and they're totally in line with your mission. Like, I don't know, bro. It's nuts. It's nuts.
It can be on your computer, just like watching what you do in the background as well.
And it's proactive. It's not like, how most AI is, you need to ask it a question and then it responds. This one is more like, and if you set it up as such, you can have it like kind of linger, where it's like, listening to you and watching you and then giving you suggestions on how to improve it. But it's got like agency. It's got, the ability to whip up programs, right? Let's say you're like, hey, build a program, right? Another thing that I'm going to do today is, you can plug it into all these LLMs, right? Like Claude, Gemini, which is awesome and powerful. But they can get expensive. Like there's people online that are like, oh my God, I woke up and my thing went nuts and I have a bill for $200 over the last 24 hours.
Oh, because it's doing stuff like while you're sleeping.
It's just going, it's just cranking stuff out. But what you can do is you can download. So for example, Facebook and Meta, they built something called Llama or Olama, which is like an LLM that you own and control. So you could foreseeably just download that and put it on your computer, and now your Claude bot communicates with that, and you're cranking, but all of that is happening on your computers. You're not paying Claude anymore. You're not paying Gemini. So now your computer's thinking 24/7 for you without any cost. Well, the cost of electricity, right? Bro, nuts. Nuts. It's like the next level of autonomy of AI, and it's brilliant. So I've been just tinkering with it again, play with it at your own risk. Right. And then what most smart people are doing, and what I'm probably going to do soon, is switch gears and put it on its own device. So a lot of people are going out there and buying Mac Minis, those little $600 computers, and they're putting the thing on there, giving it its own Apple ID, giving it its own email, giving it a name and an image, and now that MacBook Mini becomes Miles's like counterpart, AI personal assistant, right? And that's the thing, is like these AI chatbots that we use every day, they're not really like personal assistants because you have to keep going to it and asking. But a personal assistant, a good personal assistant, is somebody who disappears. They're not, you don't have to always go to them. They more just like figure out what you need to do and then just help you do it, type of thing. Yeah. So that's kind of where it's moving. I don't know. I'm probably sound a bit overexcited, but I haven't been this like since Bitcoin, since ChatGPT. This has been like the next thing that's just like, no way. Like, dude, you can do anything, whatever you can think of. Yeah. So
it sounds like it's like the agent that everybody's been promising is gonna happen. Like when You know, because I've
Yeah.
played with all the
Yes.
ChatGPT agents and stuff, and you're like, it doesn't quite do what I want it to do, and it's kind of annoying. And even when you ask these LLMs to do stuff, that it forgets, and it's annoying. Like even when ChatGPT puts in the double hyphen, you know, and you're like, could you stop doing that, please? Because it's obvious that I've used ChatGPT when that's in there, but it doesn't remember. What do you think? What do you think breaks first? Like, what's the thing? What's the thing that's going to break? That's going to crumble as a result when everybody starts using this proactively? What does it destroy? Does it end ChatGPT
Well, good
agents?
question. Well, the thing about AI or LLMs and all this stuff is that they're not deterministic. They're like almost like statistical in nature. So what that means is there's always variance in the answer, right? Like you could ask the same question, hit enter, and it'll say one thing, and then you
Mm,
hit enter again, it'll say something like it might say the same thing, but in a totally different way. But there's that
mm,
variance, right? So that
mm,
can introduce some complexities because here you are trying to perform deterministic tasks on your computer, like send an email, put together this, do that. So maybe it goes haywire, maybe it makes a mistake. Like there's also example, I don't know if people are joking or not, but they're like, uh, oh, my Claude bot went and bought me a Alex Hormozy $10,000 course. And then I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't want to pay $10,000 for a Hormozy course. And the AI was like, no, 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 trust me, it's good for you. Like, this is going to, 10x your productivity. And you're like, what? So again, it's probably early days. Probably, yeah, if you're not like super into this stuff, maybe take a bit more time. But
mm,
I don't know,
mm.
man. This idea of like since I learned about AI, the dream for me has been like wanting to have a machine that's just cranking 24/7 on my behalf. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
not just like, oh, I
yeah,
just ran a message and I got 30 seconds. But I want like a machine, a computer just always 24/7 exploring the net, like figuring out like what's the next move. And people online, they're even giving it very, very general things like this. Okay, listen to this. Hey, I'm going to bed. Okay, go to Twitter, go to Reddit, find 5 like problems that people are having, and then go build apps for those problems, and then present to me in the morning. So you wake up in the morning and
yeah.
it's
That's
build
nuts.
5 amazing web apps that you could sell. It's maybe put together a marketing plan and ads and everything for you, and you're just like, oh, okay, ready to go, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah,
And to do that would have taken 5 humans or whatever a month in the past. Now it's just you and your mind essentially. So,
yeah.
anyways, I am delighted, but we'll see where this all goes. Yeah.
Mm. Bro, that's wild. I love I love when you're getting so hyped about stuff. It makes you realize that there's something is coming. What about Optimus?
Oh man, what
You're
about
saying that
Optimus?
is that not as exciting as this, or are you also like this is a hype?
Oh, I think this is a step in that direction, right? I mean, the ultimate is like like full autonomy, right? Where machines can perform. Because like now the thing is, yes, it can do anything that a human can on a computer, but it can't be like I can't say, hey, go make me a sandwich. So I think
Mm,
Optimus and humanoids bridge that gap, right?
mm,
Like yesterday, we spent 2 hours shoveling, 3 of us. And so wouldn't it be
yeah,
nice if I could just be like, go get her? Like, I've got
yeah,
5 feet of snow piled on top of my car. Like an hour later, like my driveway's clean and it's done what it needs to do. I think that's kind of the next phase. I think I told you as well, right? I had the good fortune of working with a guy who worked on Optimus. Yeah, he used to work with
mm,
Elon. He helped him scale out Grok and everything. And I'm gonna bring him on my show hopefully this week. But his name is Anto, and genius, like genius guy, right? Like super super
mm,
smart. He's been programming since he was in his diaper. His mom is like a physics teacher, professor. Been building robots since he was like a baby, essentially, and just like designed for this. Sold his first company out of his dorm room to the military. Sold his, worked for, like I said, worked for NASA. Elon picks him up, helps. I think he was like his top, one of his first hires at Grok and helps him build this out, works on Optimus. And he's now working on a project called Cosmic Brain. And I gotta share this with you. This is just like even more next level. And so what Cosmic Brain does is you can essentially take a video of a human being performing a skill, like a physical skill, like making boba, like putting suitcases inside of an airplane, like fighting. And like they have something called UFB, which is like not UFC, but bots like duking it out inside of a cage.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So you take video of someone performing a skill, you insert it into their software called Cosmic Brain, and it outputs a file called a VLA, a vision language. They get vision language. I forget what the A stands for, but it's essentially a piece of software that you can drop into like one of 200 robots, and now the robot can perform that skill. Like what? What? Wow. So I think I'm super pumped about humanoids. I think I'm also the director of Humanoid Global here in Canada. We are like, I don't know, doing quite well. I'm quite impressed with like what the CEO's doing there. It's crazy, and all we do is we just invest in humanoid companies. Yeah, man. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm living in a movie, like Bitcoin, AI, robotics. It's like it's too much fun.
Yeah. But bro, well, what do you think the link is to Bitcoin with all this stuff? I watched this dude on Diary of CEO on he's the guy who left Google. He's an old guy. People call him the godfather of AI. It's called like
Raymond Kurzweil?
No, not Raymond. Damn, I can't remember his name. Let me just check it out.
Is he like a British guy?
Yes.
I saw it. I know who you're talking about. I saw that interview. He was really interesting.
And Jeffrey Hinton, I mean.
Oh, no, that's not who I'm talking about. Oh, Jeffrey Hinton is from University of Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So he's the godfather.
I was listening, me and my wife listened to him. And I just sold a gas engineering business last year. It's basically like it's kind of like plumbers are like on that level, and they just do like taps and water and toilets. But then gas engineers like think they're really refined versions of plumbers, but effectively they're plumbers who work with gas, right? And so in this interview, I got onto it because I saw that someone was tweeting Jeffrey Hinton says buy Bitcoin, and it's just clickbait. I got drawn in. And it was a ChatGPT drawing as well. So ChatGPT read it wrong too and showed me the interview. But basically, he's saying everything is going to be very complicated, and I can understand why someone was saying Jeffrey Hinton says buy Bitcoin, because everything's going to get inflated. Everybody's going to need universal basic income. There's going to be an abundance, like what we were saying last week. Like $10,000 will last you for 2 years to live on, but the only thing that's not going to be inflated is Bitcoin as a result of that. Like there's going to be serious abundance of everything. But what he does actually say is the interviewer, Diary CEO, where his name is, says to him, Jeffrey Hinton, so what would you advise your grandchildren to do? And I'm there thinking like, what should I do in my life? Like, what should I do next? And he's like, become a plumber. I'm like, oh, gosh, I've just stopped being a plumber, man. Like, don't say become a plumber now. He's like, become a plumber. That's going to be very difficult to do. He was even saying like, even the humanoid robots were saying it's still going to be quite complicated for them to be underneath someone's stairs inside a basement, like soldering a gas pipe together. It's going to be a while before they're going to be able to crawl into those little spaces. It's like, I don't know. Is it actually going to be difficult for them? And really, what is the protection for that? Is it buying Bitcoin? Should he really be saying everybody should have a little bit of Bitcoin? Because if there's going to be a currency that humanoids are transacting in, it's probably going to be Bitcoin on the Lightning Network. I don't know. What do you think?
I definitely think, Bitcoin is the answer potentially to some of the challenges we face. Yeah. So short answer, I prescribe to that idea. I'm sure you can find interviews of mine from like 10, 12 years ago talking about robots and Bitcoin, mainly because, I used to be in robotics for like 8 years before I got into Bitcoin. And I always felt super bullish on the fact that at one point in time, and I think we're getting very close to this point in time, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, that there will be that humanoids and robots will be using Bitcoin more than humans. Like I think, like if you think about it, right, like a robot or a humanoid, we're talking about plumbing, we're talking about shoveling my driveway, we're talking about running, errands. Well, guess what? It's going to need money. Like, it's going to need to pay people. It's
Yeah.
going to need to get paid. It's going to need to commerce between other robots. It might need to tip my washing machine to be like, hey, buddy, don't turn on right now because electricity prices are high. I'll pay you 10 cents if you turn on at 7 p.m. I don't know. I'm just making up shit. But my point is like machines are going to need a protocol type base to commerce, right? And they're not going to, I don't think they're going to use Swift or Interac or the banking channels. They're going to need something programmatic, something that they can, something like Bitcoin, right? It's like TCP/IP for money. So I think I'm very bullish on that overall thesis. I think it's also going to be a great way for humans to protect themselves against, inflation in general, right? I like this. I came across this guy. I don't know. I forget his name, but he was the CEO of the company that just sold to NVIDIA for like $20 billion. There's Grok, not GROK, but GROQ.
Yeah.
So I think what they do is whereas NVIDIA makes like GPUs, these guys are making, I think like ASICs almost like application specific integrated circuits. So where the chips themselves are designed specifically for AI. You know how like GPUs that NVIDIA makes, you can play video games with them, you can do this, you can do that. But these are like specifically designed for AI, and they were bought by NVIDIA for $20 billion. Anyway, so the CEO, I was hearing him speak last week, and he said something super refreshing. He was like, we're going to have a shortage of jobs. It's not going to be that jobs run away, like they get away from us. He's like, I predict that there won't be enough jobs. And his logic really made sense to me. Maybe I want it to make sense, so it made sense to me, but I don't know. But he said that what AI is going to eventually lead to is like hyperdeflation, which is kind of like what Bitcoin also leads to, right? It's going to lead to just things becoming cheaper, because now you're going to have robots farming, making houses, making your food. And if you have 1 billion of them, if you have 10 billion of them, you could see how the cost of everything could eventually drive towards zero. It'll never be zero, but it'll drive towards zero. And then what's going to happen is the $10,000 you have in your bank account, where it might have only lasted you 3 months, maybe now it lasts you 3 years, or maybe it lasts you 30 years, because, to buy a chicken that you had to buy for $20 is now 2 cents or 20 cents or something, right? So he was saying how eventually, because of deflation, more and more people are going to be like, I don't need to work. I've got all the money in the world, because like the cost of everything is nothing. And that's going to lead to people pulling away from their job. They're going to be like, I'm not going to work. I've got more than enough money with, like, let's say the Bitcoin that I've saved up or whatever. And that's going to lead to, again, people not wanting to work, and therefore there being a surplus of jobs, right? So I thought that was a refreshing take, just because, the Jeffrey Hinton and everyone else is super like negative. I get not negative, but they obviously paint a very dark picture, right? Like of what could go wrong. And I don't
it's
hate
nice
for
to
that,
hear the other side.
but it's nice to also, see that, hey, look, it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe there's some things we're overlooking, and maybe this could work out, in our favor. So but Jeffrey Hinton, obviously, he invented, or kind of the core guy that brought a lot of this innovation to the world. So tremendous amount of respect for him. It's cool that I went to the same university as he taught at as well. And I don't know, man. I think I like, I don't know, there's something in the water here in Toronto, right? Like Ethereum was born here, right? Like the second biggest crypto. AI was born in Toronto, right? With Hinton and Setzever and all these guys, Elias Setzever and all these guys. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, it's exciting times. Canada, mind you, has a hard time kind of capturing the upside, like commercializing a lot of this tech. Like we're great. We have awesome engineers, we have smart visionary people. But then when it comes to like bringing that tech to the world, like another example, BlackBerry. Who made iPhones? I mean, or smartphones cool? Or like, it was BlackBerry that I remember when I met my wife, even she used to carry one of those BlackBerries, right?
Yeah.
But we somehow weren't able to keep that going, right? Like Apple
Yeah.
came around and said, we've got, a tiny thing that we're going to twist, forget the keyboard screens. And now all of a sudden Apple's everything. So I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. I've always felt very bullish on Canada, especially if Canada figured out kind of how to close the loop on tech.
Mm.
Anyways, I digress. So we talked a little bit about meaning. I think with your, I don't know, I felt like your song, the Christian song, it's like, it's obviously about meaning. We talked about money. We talked about AI. What else is, I don't know, top of mind? What else are you thinking about nowadays?
I'm sort of thinking about meaning stuff a little bit. What you've put in our notes about humanoid robots outnumber humans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Isn't it, do you want them to do everything for us? Does that take away? I think we've talked about this before. Does that take away the meaning from our lives? If a humanoid robot shovels the snow, does that mean that our kids don't get to do some of those jobs that they need to learn to do as they're growing up? Does that take away some meaning from us, or does that mean we find meaning in other things instead?
I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of outsourcing, hard labor, dangerous jobs, dull jobs to robots, as in like I could see how that can make a lot of sense. And, like because I'm not stuck on the farm like 99% of the population used to be a couple hundred years ago,
Mm.
do I feel like I lack meaning in my life today? No. I don't know. I think we have like this kind of infinite potentiality where we're able to find meaning as well, right? So I don't believe that work gives me meaning. I think I don't know how to explain this, but like I feel my work is like an extension of what I prescribe meaning to, but I don't feel like I need to be doing, like, if there's a way for me to automate something and get it out of my way and kind of help me move towards my mission, like that's more
Mm.
meaningful for me, yeah, instead of
Mm.
less. Um, so yeah, so I think the fact that I think what it's going to do with this like proliferation of intelligence is it's going to force humans to realize that there's a lot more to life than just intelligence, right? Like there's, consciousness, there's like there's, I don't know, I just feel like we are not just like a bundle of electrons and protons randomly like, pushing around in ourselves. I think there's more, right? We talk about
Yeah.
Christianity, we talk about, God, we talk about um like in my view, I use the words God and universe interchangeably. Maybe that's a bit of a cop out. You tell me.
Mm. Mm.
But I almost feel like everything is God. Like God is everywhere. Like nothing is not God. No, like
Mm.
I don't know. To me, it
Mm.
just seems like this all pervasive force. Why would it all of a sudden choose to just like stop right here and not enter me or whatever? You know what I mean? Like I feel
Yeah.
like I'm not saying I am God, but I feel like I'm a part and parcel of something much larger, and I've got some of that light in me, right? Just like I think you do as well. So I think people start asking these deeper questions of, what is the meaning of life, and maybe it means we move back to chilling, hanging out,
Mm.
spending more time with our kids, meditating, praying, singing, creating music, right? Like
Yeah.
I can get behind that. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, computers figured out how to play chess way better than us, right? Does that mean people
Yeah.
stop watching
Playing
humans play
chess.
chess? No. Like, and
Yeah.
did people stop playing chess? No, because that's like just an inanimate object that can do it. You can use it to learn and get better, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it just because I can make music in Suno now. Does that mean I'm not going to listen to Miles's song right after this call?
Yeah.
No, like
No,
I
but
want to see that, right? So I want to feel that.
what's even more like an extension of that, I realized this week is because I'm doing this 90-day challenge where I do all these different fasting things and I do meditation every day.
Yeah, how's that coming along?
Yeah, it's cool. It's going well, actually. My group of guys, it's a good group of guys, but we actually have only met online so far because we're kind of like a bit distributed, but I'm trying to get everyone to meet together in person in like somewhere in the middle. So I think once we meet together in person, I think that's going to be really, really good. But one of the things is that you're only allowed to listen to music or podcasts which are uplifting And that would generally, for most of the guys, that would be Christian content, I would think. So I've been listening to a lot more worship music than I would normally listen to. But then I got into this whole stream of, like, Tiny Desk. Have you ever seen that? Where it's like a little
No.
live performance around this very small desk, basically in an office. It's an NPR production thing, but they've had like all the top artists perform there. But they've also had some really cool Christian artists perform there. Like one guy's called Maverick City. They're like this like sort of gospel fusion music group. Like Kurt Franklin, he's like one of the top gospel artists. They've done like live performances in this thing called Tiny Desk, and then I just got down a rabbit hole of listening to like small live performances of this music. Like I listened to Ed Sheeran and Adele and Sting and like Damian Marley. I just got on the rabbit hole of just listening on a drive to all these different live performances, and it's normally kind of a guitarist and a couple of other musicians, not like a full band, and they have like a load of voices. Dude, there's something about the live performance that AI is just not going to be able to do. Like the energy of a live performance. And I was saying to my kids, I think I would sort of said to them, I don't think it's really about learning to do music production now if you're a child, because that could kind of get swept away by AI. But live music, if everybody's more free, if I was more free, I'd go to live shows all the time. And if there was suddenly this drive of all the musicians in the world were just like focused on live music, we could have this explosion and renaissance of pop in live music. Because when you go to a live show, it's crazy. If it's a good one, it's crazy. And I don't think you're going to watch a load of, no one's actually going to want to watch some humanoids, even if they can shred the guitar better than somebody. I'm just going to opt out of that. I should be like, no, I'm not up for listening to that. I'm just going to, even if it's better, I'll still be like, I'm just not up for them, humanoid robots taking away those kind of things. I'm not going to watch 5 humanoids play a live version of like a worship song that I like, even if they do it better. Nah, I think that's going to stay. And I think that could be, I was saying to my then we watched some with my kids, and I was saying, guys, this is sick. Like, if you want to do this, I would support that. If you want to be that kind of musician, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I remember even a few years ago, the standard advice was learn to program, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, learn to
Yeah.
program, you'll be safe. Now
Yeah.
it's like that's the worst advice ever. So it's a tough one, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like I think the type of things that we need to raise kids for in this day and age are quite a bit different than what we grew up with. I think it's going to be a lot about just like being flexible, being open-minded, being able to connect with other humans, just like, yeah, all this stuff. And I don't know, I've been kind of on this trip about like kind of discovering my best self, right, over the last few years. I hope that more people will embark on a journey like that, where they, use their mind's eye to craft like what the ultimate vision of their future is, and then leverage these technologies, whether it be Bitcoin or AI or robotics, Christianity, and all these things to kind of become their best self, right? And dude, I don't want to like jinx myself, not that I will, but I feel like 2026, all this stuff that I've been doing and working towards is finally coming together. Like it's like I feel it. Like there's this saying where it's like, first you get paid for what you do, then you get paid for what you know and who you know, and then you get paid for who you are.
Yeah,
right.
sick.
And I feel like that third piece is, again, I'm not fully there yet. Maybe I'll never fully be there, and it's like a journey and blah, blah, blah. But I feel every morning that I'm no longer chasing and running after things and just exhausting myself in unnecessary ways. But instead, I'm just like centered. I'm like right there, and things are just coming into my life in a way that I, always imagined and hoped for, but never thought it would be like this. It's like Niagara Falls, like every day.
Yeah.
So
no, I can feel that coming from you, man. I can feel it. Having spoken the last bunch of weeks, I can feel it.
Yeah. So again, I think these developments. Not gonna lie, a couple years ago, I was in a really dark place. I think with the COVID and people being locked up and all that stuff, it was like oh, is this how it all ends? Like, is this
Oh
even
yeah.
possible? Like, how can they do this to us? It was like a very like disempowering time in my life. But
Mm,
right now, I don't know. I feel like the complete opposite, and maybe there's a bit of like, fluctuation from one end of the pole to the other and whatnot. But right now, I am really, really enjoying life, and I'm starting to finally feel like I get like what's going on in this simulation, right? And yeah, man. And so I don't know, habits. I think that's another one that I'm trying to cultivate, and little things. Yeah, like
yeah.
just looking at life in terms of like the day as a unit, and like optimizing those days. I don't know, like every day you just like inch forward like a percent or two, and before you know it, you look back and you're like, oh my god, like this is I would have never have imagined that I could do all this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the Claude bot, not gonna lie, that's right in there,
Yeah.
man. That's right in there with just being enamored by life, and just like it's such a beautiful world, right? Like the fact that you're on the other side of the world and I'm here, and we're just like, you want to do a live stream today? Sure, yeah. Click a button, and we're
Yeah.
broadcasting to 10 different places, and it's like our
Yeah.
friends are watching, and I just found out my wife watches all of our episodes now. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I've actually got an audience. I gotta be on my A game here with Miles.
Yeah.
But
Talk any nonsense
it's
about a
cool.
wife as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's good, man. And then we've also obviously talked about the importance of having like a supportive partner as well. I think that's another one of those like enigmas that most people are still trying to crack. A lot of my buddies are stuck still, like they want someone in their
Yeah.
life, they want to have kids, and they're just like kind of like they don't know where to look or how to make it happen. And but the
Yeah.
fact that I think we found someone who's there for us, who's supporting us, I don't know, man. I just super grateful, man. Super grateful for
Mm.
these conversations that you and I have. And yeah, I don't know, loving
Yeah,
life
bro. You're doing great.
right now.
Dude,
Loving
I
life.
actually had a funny one a minute ago. I don't know if you thought like when you've been married for a long time, you would just like understand each other like so well. Obviously, like this is a funny story. Understand each other so well. So I thought that would happen, but it clearly hasn't because just before when we were messaging, I was just dropping my wife off at like hair appointment, whatever she's getting done. And on the way there, I'm driving like this way in the city. We're in Brighton today, this way in the city, and I'm going the opposite direction to where she thinks we're going. She hasn't told me where we're going. She just said she's going to this hair place, and I'm assuming it's here in this other place. And then we're literally almost there. And I'm like starting to say goodbye to her. I'm like, okay, see you later. I'll pick you up before. She's like, we're so far away. I said, what are you talking about? We're just here. She said, no, it's in this place called The Level. And I said, you never said that to me. She said, but you said you knew where it was. I was like, no, I never said that. And we're having like, not an argument, but like, she's just saying, she then realizes she didn't say, I realizing that I didn't really say. And then we're both having this thing where I'm thinking, man, this is crazy. We've been married for like 15 years now, but we still are like, finding out new things about each other and like not communicating in a way which we're able to. Then she's like late for a hair appointment. I'm like, I got a live stream with Sunny, man. I'm gonna be late for that thing now. But it's like it's almost like the tension creates. I don't know. It's just interesting, isn't it? I thought it would eventually you'd know everything about each other, but actually, even after 15 years, I'm still finding out stuff about each other and how we communicate with each other, which just keeps it fun. Really, she's kind of annoyed with me right now, so I'm gonna have to like make up, but I actually don't mind that much. I don't mind because it's kind of fun. It's like, wouldn't it be boring if there was no like growth or anything?
Yeah, 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 for sure. For sure. That reminds me of I had a boss like a long time ago, 15 years ago. His name Andy. He was actually my first real boss. And he had gotten married when he was like quite young. And he told me something. He was like, Sonny, the thing about marriage is that like it gets exponentially better over time.
Oh,
And so let's say you settle down with your soulmate or whatever when you're 50 years old and you live to like 80. That's like 30 years of compounding. But if you meet your significant other, let's say in your 20s, and you spend like 50, 60 years together, like yeah,
mm.
it's like this at the beginning, but near the end is where all that
Oh,
goodness comes. And so like meeting someone and getting through these. Yeah, my wife and I had a similar, spat yesterday. First thing in the morning, she throws a baby on me. She's like, change the diaper, feed him some milk. I'm working. I can't do this. And I asked her some questions about how is it too hot? Is it too cold? She's like, what do you mean? Just figure it out. Like, and I said a few things that I ended up regretting. And yeah, but one of the best things about my wife is that she's good at de-escalating. Like I've been with people in the past where, as soon as something starts to get a bit like tough, like they'll push back twice as hard, and then you push back 5 times as hard, and before you know it, it's like a nuclear explosion. But my wife's like really good at like, kind of just like disengaging when I'm getting a little bit too fired up, and then, but then coming back to it and being like, look, when you said this, that really hurt me. And so yeah, so I think a lot of it is just about finding that, that right kind of energetic match. But I'd love to do a deep dive on all this stuff. Like I find, attraction, relationships, love, and marriage, and all this stuff, like, so interesting. And I can close my eyes and just like remember as if it was yesterday when all I wanted was that, right? Like, what's that
Yeah.
saying? Someone said it's like you've already achieved goals that you told yourself you'd be happy once you achieved. I probably butchered it, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you've already done so much in your life, that at one point you said, only if I would have met someone like Bex, right? Or whatever, I'd be
Yeah.
like happy for the rest of my life. And then you meet that person, and before you know it, you're on to the next thing, right? That's stressing you
Yeah.
out. It's like, no, dude, like you've already made it in many ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think just accepting that and embracing it and being grateful for it is key.
Bro, I'm sure that you've got another call that we're overrunning into. I should
Yeah.
probably wrap it
Yeah.
up. But
Yeah,
thanks
man.
everyone for listening. Bless everyone. We'll be back next Thursday. Check out Sunny Ray Show. Check out my podcast. Should I invest in Bitcoin? Catch everyone.